All right, Geo TB Phase 3. Wanted to try out the new Chupio character. I threw them all here. I mean, obviously, this is with the exception of SRP, this is the very obvious choice for a team. I've seen some people running OB. I've seen some people running Cara Dune. My Cara Dune does not have full 6Es. So I'm not going to go with Cara Dune, but I could very easily see her being the fifth in here. I could also very easily see Old Ben, much like the pretty standard gas counter, which I will do in another video. I like SRP because he reses on his own, so I'm trying to put that in here with Chupio's unique. Also, if he does die, I mean, the speed up is not such a bad thing. I'm not doing this on auto just because it's phase 3. If it was phase 1, then maybe I would. But look at all the assists. I mean, that is a lot of assists going on here. I mean, this makes it kind of like an IT team, or I don't know, but it is delicious. Right now, I'm running Chupio offense mods with health offset, or was it potency offset? Yeah, potency offset. So I got some potency offense in there. It doesn't need a crazy amount of speed because it's really there just for all of these bonus attacks. I mean, between OG Chewie Guard and Chupio and Han, I mean, and CLS lead on counters, there's just a whole lot of extra attacks. So yeah, maybe SRP wasn't the best fifth in here, and I'm up against Kalani, which is kind of a pain in the balls, because then I gotta take Kalani out. Really, it's easier to take Kalani out first, but there's no way we're gonna get a 4 out of 4, not against GG Watt. But still a very, very fun team. Maybe if I had put Old Ben in there as the fifth, I would have had a better shot, because that AoE turn meter reduction really makes a huge difference. All right, so 3 out of 4 ain't bad. The Ray team, I very rarely take BB-8 on the Ray GL team, because especially against all these B2s, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But this one goes pretty well. I really like doing this one. A lot of people still like using JTR as a separate team. I hate JTR in LSGOTB. I feel like I can never ever make anything happen with her, and I don't even like her on the Ray team, because if you're running her with Hero Finn, as you should, then JTR taunts, and I don't really have her modded to be the best tank, so she almost always ends up dying. So I like this team. It's pretty easy. I mean, even if I have JTR on the Ray team, usually still 4 out of 4, just because of Ray herself. I mean, she, just like SLKR and Darkseid, can pretty much solo a number of things. But yeah, this comp isn't bad. I don't hate Holdo in there instead of BB-8, because then there's more taunt and healing. And at least my Holdo is modded for taunting. Hi, Rose. What you doing? So yeah. So obviously I did spend for Chupio. I actually kind of lucked out. It only cost me $1.50 to max out Chupio from shards. I didn't need to spend anything for gear or relics, because I had everything hoarded up, as really is the way. of late, certainly. So yeah, I only spent $150, so that's not bad comparatively compared to the oft $300 that one would have to spend in order to maximize a new character. I really like the kit. Yeah, I really like the kit. It's harkening back to my other older video. Do I think it's a little bit of a cop out in terms of a character release? Yes. Do I hate it? Absolutely not. I really like the kit. I really like that it bolsters the CLS team. I know everybody, including myself, was a little annoyed that Jedi Knight Luke isn't a rebel and therefore does not bolster a CLS team. But in fairness, why would you want to run JKL under a CLS team when you could be running a full separate Jedi team? All the same, just for the sake of integrity, one would have liked to have seen JKL with a rebel tag, and at least with Chupio, we get some satisfaction there that your OG CLS team, or CLS 2.0, with, as it used to be called, with Chewie and or 3PO in there, gets a little bit of a bolster from Chupio. So yeah, I do like the kit. I like the synergy with CLS, obviously. So yeah, jury is still out for me as to who the best fifth is. I'm gonna try Old Ben in there for some stuff. Maybe I'll boost up my Cara Dune and throw her in there. I really thought that SRP would be the best fifth. Maybe he is a great fifth, just not in Lightside Geo TB when there are so many B2s that are stripping buffs off of SRP, which renders him inert, really. So jury is still out. I do really like running this JKL team as a separate team here in Lightside Geo TB. The only thing that might be better might be Hermit Yoda or Grand Master Yoda in place of Bastila, because as you see, once I get to Wave 4, I face a full GBA Geos team, and it's just not enough. Pretty close, but if I had had Hermit Yoda in here instead of Bastila, I probably would have beaten it, because it's just, a third mass team assist by that point. I didn't run Hermit Yoda in here because I was on the platoon list to donate Hermit Yoda. So I did not get to use Hermit Yoda in Wave or Phase 3. So yeah, I definitely think if I had Hermit Yoda in here as the fifth in place of Bastila, this team would be pretty unstoppable. With Jolie in there, Hermit Yoda in there, because all the DPS is coming from Luke anyway, with a little bit of DPS coming from JKR, the mass stun for crowd control, and then if I had Hermit Yoda in here, I'd have another full team mass assist, so that would make up for a lot of DPS as well as healing. So yeah, Hermit Yoda definitely would be the best fifth in here. And then I would still keep Jolie, because then if you do lose someone because you're not running JKR lead, so if JKR does die, because he does not savior if he's not the leader, then you have Jolie in there to pick him up. I mean, you've already seen me res with Jolie a couple of times in here. And then he'll do it again because of Spy. Yeah, so I do think that Hermit Yoda would be the best fifth in here, and I think this team would be pretty unstoppable with him in there. A lot of healing, you got resing from Jolie, taunting from Old Ben, AoE turn meter reduction, an ability block from Old Ben, AoE stun from JKL, taunt ignore from JKR, and then 3 mass assists between Luke, Revan, and Hermit Yoda. So yeah, that's my optimal team pick, and I'm going to save my cooldowns for the next wave. Um, so yeah, I have to give CG credit. The last three character releases have been very good, and I'm including Vader's rework as a release there. Um, so between so there's Jolie's Savior, which is good. Between Jedi Knight Luke, Vader rework, and now Chupio, they being CG, have done a very good job, to my estimation, with character reworks and releases. So that is um, heartening and promising. It still does not remedy my absolute hatred for GAC right now, or really the constant barrage of PvP. I mean, TW's layered on top of GAC. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, and especially when you're up in the upper echelons of guild GP and TW competitiveness, it's very draining. It's very draining. It's very taxing. A buddy of mine, Ziggy, showed me a screenshot that Oberon Khaled may or may not have left Caw and gone to a comparatively casual guild. That's one of the best accounts in this game, Oberon Khaled. I've lost to him many a times in TW or GAC. And for a guy like that to, what I'm assuming is, feel the burnout of the constant PvP, and to, as a result, drop to a comparatively PvP casual guild, I mean, that is telling. Oberon Khaled's mods and account is insane. Oh, as Bella walks in here topless, because I guess she's going to go tan. Oh, she's giving me a look. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Oh, now she's shaking her boobies. Yeah. How much do I have to pay for that show? $3.99. That's a steal. Anyway, so for a guy like Oberon Khaled to drop from one of the easily top two, I mean, sure, they would argue number one, but I'm going to say top two PvP guilds or TW guilds in the game, for him to drop to a comparatively unknown guild really tells you that the top players are feeling the PvP burnout. Yeah, I think the simple fix is just CG should just decrease the frequency of GAC seasons, or maybe spread it out a little more, so it's just not one after the other after the other. I mean, it's an entire month of just non-stop PvP. It's very time consuming, and if you're like me, and you are generally very prideful in your GAC ability, then yeah, it's frustrating. I straight up gave up on this last season of GAC because I was so fucking burnt out. I had a lot of shit going on between work, my personal stuff, sorting out my dad's apartment, the Swigo, Game of Thrones. Like, it's a lot. Game of Thrones is easy. Swigo requires a lot more brain power, which is a good and or bad thing, depending on how you look at it or feel about it. Rosie, who are you buffing? It's a lot. It is a lot. If you have any semblance of a life outside of mobile gaming, it is a metric fuck ton to constantly have GAC and then rotating TW and TB. It is a lot. It is a whole lot. Look how close I get, and then it's just not enough. If I had a mass assist from Hermit Yoda in there in place of Bastila, I definitely think I would have this. But as you can see, the war of attrition, when Jolie goes down, it's game over. Anyway, So that's how I feel on that. I know I am comforted to know that I am not alone in feeling that. Um, yeah, so that's where we are. But I am still very happy with the character releases from CG. They have been very, very good. Now, maybe I could have won this if I had killed somebody else in place of GBA. Um, that's entirely possible if I had focused on someone easy, but I really thought that I could get GBA out early, which would have made it a lot easier, but I guess not.